The stale food. Once upon a time, there was a king who was a great philanthrope. He had hardly any thought excepting the good of his people. Often he roamed about throughout the land in disguise in order to observe the condition of his subjects. In his kingdom lived a certain wealthy man who was extremely greedy and selfish. He never gave a pie to the needy nor contributed to any good cause. His wife sometimes managed to help the poor when he was away from home. It was the wealthy man's birthday. His wife had prepared a number of delicious dishes for him. He ate them with great relish. Just then, a beggar shouted at their door, I am dying of hunger. Will you give me a handful of rice? The wealthy man heard the cry but said nothing. His wife did not dare to give anything to the beggar in his presence. She, however, hoped that her husband would certainly instruct her to give something to the beggar that particular day, since that was his happy birthday. The beggar kept on crying for long, but the rich man did not even show that he had heard the cries. At last, the beggar shouted, Well, must I then go away hungry? At that, the wife turned to look at the door and said, Yes, we have nothing to offer you. My husband is eating stale food, what was surplus from yesterday's. It so happened that the king, who was passing by in disguise, heard all this. Through the window, he could see that the rich man was enjoying a number of fresh dishes. How then did his wife utter such a blatant lie? She could certainly have asked the beggar to come later. The king returned to his palace pensive. Next day, an officer came to the wealthy man's house and told him that the king had summoned his wife. The man, panic struck, accompanied his wife to the court. The king asked the lady, Yesterday, while you were serving your husband with luxurious dishes, you told a beggar that your husband was taking stale food, surplus from the day before. How could you say such a lie? The lady smiled melancholy and said, My lord, what I meant was, my husband was eating the fruit of such good deeds which he had performed in his past life. The luxury he enjoyed could not be the outcome of his deeds of this life, for he has done nothing good in this life. My lord, you have to interpret my words in this light. The king was amazed at the wisdom of the lady. He rewarded her with a costly silk saree and chided her husband for his stingy conduct. It was a good lesson to the wealthy man. Thereafter, he began to show consideration to others. Thank you very much. Now, some of the words and their meaning. The stale food. Stale means not fresh. Once upon a time, there was a king who was a great philanthrope. Philanthrope means philanthropist. Philanthropist means a person who seeks welfare of others by generous donation of money for good cause, a humanitarian. Often he roamed about throughout the land in disguise. Roam about means to move or wander in an aimless manner. His wife had prepared a number of delicious dishes for him. He ate them with great relish. Relish means enjoyment in something, especially eat with great relish means eat with great enjoyment. How did his wife utter such a blatant lie? Blatant means open and unashamed. The king returned to his palace pensive. Pensive means deep, serious thought. The man, panic struck, accompanied his wife to the court. Panic stricken means very frightened. The lady smiled melancholy and said, melancholy means feeling of sadness. King chided her husband for his stingy conduct. Chide means scold or rebuke. Stingy means unwilling to spend money. Thank you very much.